Good morning. We would like to acknowledge that we are recording on the traditional territory of Benimki-Waju, Fort William First Nation in Thunder Bay. And we would like to also wish you a happy Family Day weekend. You may have noticed on the D2L that we did not open Module 5 until tomorrow. So the reason is we want you to actually take some time, have some reflective time, go out for a nice walk, whatever it is that you want to do on this long weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So we're just going to comment briefly on some of the modules you've been working in, 3 and 4. Module 3 was a very big module, and we know that, but it encompasses a lot of things that those things that you need to stay in front of. They're the things that you need to be aware of, the things that you need to be working on in your off time,
Yeah.
because they are the situations or issues that can certainly create some of the most difficulties for you in the job. So we appreciate everybody's attention to detail on those and reflections. Both the case studies are really about what one way to look at them. They both were about angry parents, and I know many of you mentioned, at least in my class, that you would hope that it hadn't got to that point. So it's a good time to be reflecting on what you would be doing in your school and how you would be staying ahead of those issues so they don't come to the point where the parent is there.
And if it does actually happen that they show up anyway, what is it that you're considering? And we had certainly a variety of responses and considerations from people, from the do I leave or not to do I need to call 911 if it gets to that point. So really on both extremes, be thinking about all the what if possibilities as you move forward. And really, for a big part of this was building on having an equitable learning environment and learning community for the students and their families. And it leads quite nicely into the relationship building that we talked about in Module 4. And some of the pieces that Dr. David Tranter spoke about. If you can really have those strong relationships, the reality is most of these issues will be avoided. Doesn't mean parents won't still be angry, but how they approach that may be a little less if they know that they have a good solid relationship with you, with the school. They understand that your main number one goal is supporting their child, and you will listen. That's a big one. Parents often just want you to listen because they're tired of not having a voice.
And I know Dr. Tranter talks about that relationship bank and making deposits. And so if you're making those deposits leading up to an event that causes either is a crisis or is an issue for a parent, those deposits will go a long way for helping you go through that actually situation at that moment.
And when looking at the legislation, quite a few people commented on the fact that some of it they knew, some of it they had no idea. The overwhelming, really fat book that was about that big, that was full of educational law and acts that you are responsible for being aware of and actually implementing. But the reality is, a lot of it you will come to know quite regularly, and other pieces you'll just have to know that it indeed does exist and where to find it when you need it. So it's not something that we would say you need to be sure that you know 100% of it. Just know that it does exist.
Going forward, Module 5, you'll be talking about really using some of your data, looking closely at it for the school improvement plan. EQAO is a part going forward, and really some things we'd like to point out about EQAO is that there are some, though it certainly has some limitations, there are some really incredible uses for it within your schools, and it can be a real catalyst to help improve pedagogy and practice, and a catalyst to bring your community together and work towards.
And we really look forward to hearing your experiences and expertise that have allowed you to use this EQAO to the advantage of space that you certainly have, many of you commented on already. Another big piece is the important role of school council. We did include the school handbook in there that the principal and the school council use every year, but really the important role of advising the school principal that the school council has. And that is another piece of the community relationship building that does occur.
And typically we see folks are quite surprised actually by some of the legislation around school council, so take a good close look at that document as you go forward. Community collaboration sort of rounds out Module 5, and that for me actually is a really special point. That idea about bringing community into the school and how the school is really a hub, that's new to the document, the new Achieving Excellence as we go forward, making schools community hubs. So how you, and I know at least one person is talking about doing a practicum in my group think it's Rachel is talking about doing or Rebecca, excuse me, Rebecca is talking about doing a practicum regarding really our community, not just community collaboration, but how the community perceives the school and its role, and whether it has some positive attributes in that relationship. So it's certainly something to consider. We can't. I don't think schools can exist in a vacuum any longer. So we're looking forward to your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, and well, on that note, happy Family Day tomorrow, and we'll be in touch.
Okay, thank you.